One of the most fun thing about this game, I think, is any fighting game for that matter, is that thinking never has to stop. You should always be thinking and looking and analyzing, testing the reactions of your opponent. So for example, what I do when I play Sonya, let's say I want to mix a little bit. Because Sonya, you have to take risks to open people up. Not always, but sometimes you do. If you're not able to whiff punish them with back one, which are just, if they don't make a mistake, and you have to open them up forcibly with a mix, with an overhead, right? You can't react to one hit hitting and then being like, oh yeah, one hit hit. We're not machines, right? So this means that since this is not hit confirmable, you have to follow through. You have to believe. You did not believe. You have to believe. And you have to commit. But it's minus 14, you're going to get really punished. There is a smart way to do 50-50s in this game. And what has happened to me often in Kombat League is I lose the first match. I almost always lose the first match. And then I beat them after. Because it takes me one match to analyze the data, to read them. But you know, especially since it's a new opponent, you have no idea how they're gonna fight. So for me, I test them. I start Sonya, maybe I start with low, right? I just throw my elbow out there and I want to see how they react. And I prefer the low because it's safer, right? This is minus 10, minus 9 apparently. I thought it was minus 10. Minus 9, this safer, it's 7 frames. I test them. How do they react to stuff? When they see my elbow, do they block high or low? When I notice that they just keep blocking low, I'm showing them my elbow and they're not fuzzing it, they're not getting up. That's me analyzing them and knowing that, okay, look at you, you don't want to get up? Okay, thank you. And then I commit to it. And then this is what happens, I open them up. So I'm always thinking and looking at their movement. Another one too, let's say I'm throwing this out there. I can special cancel this, but what I'll do is I'll throw it out there and I'll block. I just want to see what they do. How fast are they reacting? Do they take their turn too quickly? Do they not respect that this might be coming, right? I do this and look, okay, what are you doing? Let's say they take back their turn too quickly, then I'll do this. And that's unsafe, but since I know they'll try to take their turn as soon as they see the knee, this is going to get them. And again, when it comes to other types of players, I will look and notice, I'm looking, and then they take like half a second to take back their turn because they're respectful and they're waiting for me to potentially special cancel. If I see my opponent doing this, I'm never going to YOLO this. Because they're not an overly aggressive player. And again, if they take their time a little bit too much, that's when you can just abuse a down 3, right? So you don't want to be too patient or else you're going to get mashed on. Again, another one here. This move. This is minus 2 and the spacing is nice. Get her to stand. Look at the spacing. It even whiffs for my back one. What I'll do, sometimes I'll just wait. What moves do you use, right? Because from here, you can use a long-ranging move that is going to touch me. And since you're plus, well, I'm minus 2, but so this means that relatively you're 2 frames at an advantage. I want to see how you're going to respond. So if you respond with a long-ranging move that touches me, I know I have to be careful, and I cannot abuse this move. But if I see you trying to poke or doing another move like this, then I'm like, oh, really? Thank you. And now I know, and then, boom, I do my offense. So what I'm saying is, you should always analyze everything that's going on. It's never just like, well, it's your turn. Okay, let me just take my turn. I'll wait until their turn is over. Then I'm going to take my turn. No, you're thinking and you're looking. You're analyzing your opponent. You're trying to make the read. And that's why, too, with Sonya, for example, when I do 1, 3, 4, I'll special cancel it. And I'll start like this. That's not how I start. I start by amping it. Because this is safe. You know, they can flawless block it, but it's rare that they'll flawless block, especially the first one. Unless they're like a really good player. But I test them. What did they do? Did they keep blocking? Did they release block? Because if they released block and the second one hit them, next time I'm going to do the same thing because it just told me that they're overly aggressive and they're trying to interrupt. And then I do this until it stops working. And when it stops working, then I do other things, right? You can do this. And that's when it starts to be when you can grab and stop and do things like that. Because you're constantly reading your opponents. And so that's the thing, guys. I think that's what I'm trying to tell you here. Constantly analyze everything that's going on. The thinking is never supposed to stop. Which, you know, it can be exhausting. Obviously, if you're playing with friends, casually, just chill. But when you're playing to win, don't stop thinking. Don't only look at their pattern when they attack you. What stagger they do, blah, blah, blah. Look at how they react to your attacks on block. How fast do they take their turn? What string do they take their turn with? If I'm playing another Sonya, and she always takes back her turn with 1, 3, 4, I'm going to down to her ass, right? So when you're a Sonya, you have to, from time to time, take your turn with 4-4, from time to time, take your turn with a poke, etc. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, peace. Follow me on Twitter.